And we are back in
Dun, dun, dun.
duo formation. Welcome back to the Change Physician podcast. I'm Melissa Cady, the Challenge Doctor, with my co-host, Dr. Kevin Cuccaro. And we've missed him a couple times, so it's good to have him back on board. And we're here to do Saturday Salutations, say hello to everybody out there. And of course, maybe catch you up on what's been going on in the podcast, recent episodes, maybe our thoughts, maybe current events. You just never know what you're going to get with Kevin and Melissa.
With Kevin, yeah,
and you never know. We might touch on this today, but sounds like we'll have one heck of an episode to expand on here in a little bit too. So, how are you doing, Kevin?
You know, I am doing pretty well. Yeah, it has been an interesting, because I saw you've been posting. I didn't watch any videos because it was kind of kooky and crazy, but it's been, I feel like it's been a long time. I guess this has been a long time.
Yeah. So, well, let me pull up our spreadsheet of episodes here, and we've got. See, today is the 9th. So the most recent episode that was a new episode was Weights, Exercise, and Aging. Why is Dr. K or Dr. Kevin Cuccaro tired? That was episode 206. It released this past Sunday. We talked about different kinds of known phenomenon with adaptation and other things. And, maybe why Dr. Cuccaro was tired. I mean, that could be all kinds of things. But Thursday, we had another Throwback Thursday or Thursday Throwback. I have to say Thursday Throwback because we always say Saturday Salutations or Sunday.
Alliteration is good.
What's that?
Alliterations are good.
Yes. And so that one was with Dana Coriel. Did I say that right? Dr. Dana Coriel?
Yeah.
Definitely on the SoMe social media world, internal medicine, if I'm not mistaken, originally, but very much hands-on deck with social media and helping other physicians. So that was a episode 20 from 2020. So 2020. Make sure to check that out. And what's been happening with you, Kevin?
Well, let's see here. So we had kind of planned an interruption things. I was going to go out of the country with my family, and it has been quite an interesting. I'm going to save it for the full episode, but the long and short of it, we have been really good, like as a family. My son's in college, but he's not too far away, and we've never had any COVID problems, and until we were trying to leave, and then you would not. You cannot even make up all the things that happened in this process. It was incredibly stressful. We did eventually get away. I ended up having to fly out later because of different things. We had a great trip. We had a couple issues while we were out of the country. Nothing's too like uncontrollable. Like my wife lost her luggage and we're still trying to get that reimbursed.
Oh boy.
Other stuff. But anyway, it was a great trip. So sorry I missed you guys. I was planning, my original plan was kind of drop in on the Saturday Salutations, but I think just with the time difference, because it was 8-hour time difference, and then just the absolute craziness, because it ended up Saturdays were mostly travel days for us, and I never could get on. But
couldn't do the Sunday surprise. I know.
Yeah. Well, and then you're just, I don't know. It was just a little overwhelming. I was like, you know what? I am going to just enjoy where I'm at and who I'm with, and just focus on that. And I'm really glad I did. It was a lot of fun. So
awesome. Yeah. Well, good. Well, I tried to get away myself. The first week, I won't go into the details. The first week I tried to take off, within 48 hours of arrival to the new place, get COVID. So I went on vacation to get COVID. And so as my friend said, so no vacation on a vacation. I was like, well, okay. And then back to work. Anyway, so nothing too exciting and positive other than learning from firsthand experience. But that will be dove into in a future episode. So
Yeah.
stay tuned for mid-July. I'm sure that will be released.
Because there's a lot to talk about there.
A lot.
Because it has changed my perspective on how to travel. I was just going to say that. In the new era, and I don't see it
not changing for a while.
Not changing for a while. Yeah. So
it's gonna have to start being forgotten. Which that all depends on what future things happen, if it's going to sustain that or people will forget about it. We'll see.
All right. So we'll save that. But what are some faves? Out of all of this stuff, what are some faves that you have?
Well, let me just say I'm learning to have a lot of gratitude for when we have weather that's not 105 degrees. I'm craving those 80 degree temperatures when things thrive and grow. So I would say I'm learning some of my favorite things are the things that are so damn resilient that they're still surviving in this freaking heat. So from a garden yard person, I'm like, wow, that thing survived 20 degrees Fahrenheit and is surviving 105 degrees Fahrenheit. Like these are my plants. So, I mean, when you live in Austin, I mean, you just kind of have to appreciate those things because you're losing money on I don't even want to count up like how many plants have died, but you get to learn through the process what can actually withstand the terrible soil we have and the extremes of temperatures. So let's see, any other favorite thing that really wasn't a favorite thing. I think that's an appreciation for something.
That works.
I am still just super glad I have my little, exercise equipment in my sunroom. Especially coming out of COVID, I can just gently work back into getting back into life with fitness. So very grateful for that. And friends and family that check on you and, that worry about you in this crazy world we live in, which that's another episode. So what about you?
Yeah. Well, we had the trip. I was trying to figure out a way to share some of the photos of that, but it was fun. It was a wonderful trip. We ultimately went with or met up with some of our closest friends, and always good to see them. And we had, I don't know, we went, so we were in the UK, we were Scotland, and then back down took the train down through York and London, and then took a day trip out. And I just really enjoy the UK so this is the second time we've been there. Mm-hmm. And I just really, really enjoyed it. I've enjoyed basically everywhere we've ever been in the world. I've enjoyed, except for one place, which I will not name. Yeah. But it was just nice. I mean, it's beautiful and gorgeous. It's funny you talk about weather, because our weather here has been cold. So our June was like I would say most of our Mays have been. And so one of the things that has been really interesting is it's pushed the whole season back. But now, so usually we're in the fruit usually by the end of May, early June, and everything kind of got delayed. And that's one of the greatest things about living in the Willamette Valley is our fruit. But it got pushed. And so now what ended up happening is that we missed the first day of blueberry season, but then they opened Spartans. And Spartans, I didn't know this until we moved to Corvallis. I just thought blueberries are blueberries. There is so many different varieties of blueberries, and they all taste different. And it is the coolest thing in the world. I love the fruit in the summers here because it just gives you joy. And the blueberries are a hoot. And Spartans are super popular. And I brought some of them out because my son and his best friend are in town. And I'm like, okay, Spartans, they only open it a couple days a month because they're so popular here, and they'll just get picked out. Yeah. And I'm like, well, you guys should go pick blueberries. This is a good thing for him to do. And it was Spartans, so I knew I was going to get some. So they picked 20 plus pounds of these things. And if you can see them, these are literally the size of grapes.
Yeah, those are huge.
They're just massive.
My mouth is watering.
Yeah, they're massive. It's
like cherries.
Yeah, they're huge. And they're tasty. They're actually not, I really enjoy them. I don't think there is the hype around them, I think, is more about the size. There's some other varieties that are even tastier than these. But that's like one of my favorite things. So I'm like, we're into the fruit season. Peaches should be coming at the end of the month, maybe into August, because it's been cooler. The peaches are like to die for. Like, if you have not had a peach that's vine ripened or tree ripened peach, we have a little farm stand down the street from us that literally picks the peaches that day. So they've been ripened up into the point, and you will never, ever, ever find a better peach.
Wow.
So, yeah, so that's one of my favorite things. One of my absolute favorite things.
Yeah, it's funny you're talking about blueberries, because I have 3 blueberry plants that seem like they're just kind of stagnant, because I don't think we have the ideal environment for them. But I'm determined to try. So I think the only thing that's really starting to grow right now, that's like a consumable or edible plant, is my what do you call it? The cranberry hibiscus, or African hibiscus. The one I said was like the tart leaves, and I had them last year, and they die off in the cold weather. But I snipped off the ends and took all the leaves up to the top little ones and stuck them just straight in soil in a pot over the winter. And then I went ahead and just I potted them or transplanted them out in the soil, and I've got like 6 of them. So they're like little, like junior little stems that were from the previous year. So I'm propagating, which I'd never done this before. And they're growing into plants, and they're already like 2 feet tall. And these are the ones that got 14 feet tall.
Whoa.
Yeah. So, and the stalks are super hard, and they get that thick. But I'm going to prune them early so they start shooting off multiple instead of one long one. Anyway, my point is that I'm actually hopeful that something was going to grow in 100, triple digit weather. And then the other one is I have a whole bunch of oh man, I actually want to share this picture. Are you about to share something? You look like you're no. So I didn't say like this. I'll just say this is like a favorite. This is a legit favorite that I'm going to share
versus
with
the
people.
illegit favorites.
Yeah. Something like that. Let me pull up my airdrop here. Let's see. There it is. I'm going to share the screen so you guys can see. So this is going to be Lagos spinach. Let me actually reshare because it's not finding it. There it is. So this is what you call a volunteer plant. Apparently, I think that's what they call it. Whenever you didn't plant it, it was a seed from my prior plant that looked like this last year that don't survive winter, and it ended up landing right in front of like the sprinkler, or not sprinkler, the faucet. Of course, I found the best area for that. But this is only like a third of its size. It's like one of the most beautiful edible, literally I just cut the leaves and I eat them in salads or saute them. They have oxalates, so sometimes people have, I guess, stone problems or something. It's better to like cook them or something. But they shoot off these bright fluorescent pink flowers that are like very tubular, and then there's tons of seeds in it. So obviously one of them flew off on its own in the wind into land here, but that's my favorite. Literally it's there's 2 other volunteer plants that showed up in other soil nearby, and I've transplanted them, but this is the biggest one so far because it's in like a perfect spot. But Lagos spinach, it's one of the most beautiful spinach plants I've seen.
And tasty. So,
and they're good. I mean, I wouldn't say they're like your typical spinach, but it's still like a green of one sort. But yeah, I took that picture because it's just such a pretty plant. It hasn't even gotten to full size yet. It's pretty impressive how bushy and like 5 feet tall it'll get. There you go.
Cool. Very cool.
Yeah, but I want blueberries. I wish I could grow blueberries.
Yeah, our fruit is it really is amazing. And I think I've talked about this in either episodes or our little weekly chats, is in this day and age where you have Amazon and you can get crap everywhere. The things that I really, really appreciate is food, because that still is really hard. And fruit in particular, it's just hard. Like it's hard to get really good fruit. And if you're in a region, go for the regional foods that are grown there and don't transplant really well. Like I also said before, I missed loquats that we had in San
Yes.
Diego. Yeah,
They're holding on, Kevin.
yeah,
They're holding
those,
on.
man, I miss loquats, but and we've had some great fruits in Mexico that I've never seen before. Um, but our temperate fruits are it's just amazing. Like last year we did a subscription box with fruit, so every week we didn't do it this year, but we're still going to buy tons. We have a local farm that delivers, and it's just fun. I really, really enjoy it. Of course, the more and more that we're here, I think the more and more we enjoy it. And it's kind of funny because my wife, when we moved here from San Diego, had a really hard time adjusting, and it's because it's smaller. And I think she sort of transformed though, because she was complaining yesterday that Corvallis has gotten too big and the traffic's too bad. She's like, there's too many people here now. There's traffic. I'm like, oh my God. It just but yeah.
It's funny. I was driving through had an appointment up in central Austin, and I was driving through some of the neighborhoods to cut around traffic and stuff, and seeing some of these older homes being transformed in these massive, like 2-story with barely any yard
mansions.
Yeah. And I'm just thinking to myself, the cost to put yourself right there, why would you want to be there? And when I think about the change up of how businesses and life has been post-pandemic, why do you want to be in I guess if you don't care and you just want to be around a ton of people all the time and got to be in the hubbub of the city and in the mix, I feel like that's a little bit more for some people. Maybe it's just my age now. I don't know, that I don't want to be in that 20s or 30s life where I was just like in the mix with massive numbers of people and a lot of uncertainty. And now it's like violence and viruses are like our biggest like enemies. So anyway, it just makes you think about, why would I want to live in a congested city? Yeah.
Well, it's interesting what people prefer, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm definitely more of a small town person. If I had to live in a city, then I would want to live like city, like I'd like to live close where I can walk everywhere. I would not want a car. I think that, I just would hate it. Like I would like to be able to walk around. My son is really funny because he actually really enjoys cities and he wants to get out of Corvallis super, super bad. Like he's at Oregon State right now, which is good school, but he wants to go to a big city because he loves being around. He loves, he's not like he's not a hustler per se, but he likes being around things with a lot of things that are walkable, and he likes public transportation.
Yeah.
And he's good at navigating all that stuff. But me personally, I would rather go there on vacation. I'm just much more of a smaller town person, having lived in Chicago and lived in San Diego and been to some of the biggest cities in the world outside of the United States. Like I just don't want to live in a big city. I like my small places.
Well, there's big city problems too.
Well, there's problems. I mean, the advantage obviously is everything has a problem. There's pros and cons to everything. And when you're in we're lucky here because we actually have a pretty good diversity because of the university, and we have fairly decent access to things, and we have the food and stuff like that. But I mean, the big cities have arts and entertainment, and in things that I don't necessarily like. I like to go to see a show and I like to go see performances, but I don't thrive on those things. Like some people do. Like we went and saw a show when we were in London, and the guy next to me, I was talking to him. He's British, but he lives in the UK, and they're there visiting some people, but they're like literally trying to see shows every night, like buying tickets every day to go see West End shows. And I don't need that. Like,
I don't either.
We went to one and I was like, this was awesome. Oh, by the way, there is a show called Anne Juliet, which was amazing. Super, super fun to go see. I'd never even heard of it before, but so if that one comes out, totally off topic, go see it because it's very, very enjoyable. Good music.
It's interesting you brought that topic. I know we're going to finish off on Saturday Salutations, but like the diversity of a city, you're always going to have closed-minded people, even in very multicultural cities, maybe because of their job or whatever. But it's interesting because I think my husband and I both like space and like to have the sense of kind of being away from the city, but we like to have access to the city within like, 20 minutes or 30 minutes, like peripheral kind of to the city. I think that's where we find our sweet spot. So um, I don't see myself wanting to be on the top of a mountain away from everyone and never, be totally off the grid. But I definitely have an appreciation for a little bit more quiet.
Well,
Yeah.
and I wish we had, I wish our overall infrastructure was better, because in the UK they have a fantastic train service
Mhm.
um, that was just awesome, like super comfortable. And then they have buses. Like, so you could be literally anywhere in that country.
Yeah.
Well, I shouldn't say literally anywhere, but everywhere we were, including some pretty isolated places.
Mhm.
And there was buses that you can get there. And so you could live on this little island off the coast of Scotland, but you could take a bus to the ferry, and the ferry could take you to the city or to the town. And the town, you can get on a train, and within 3 hours, you could be in a city.
Yeah.
So
Less pollution.
less pollution. I am, that's the thing. One of the many things that I'm kind of disappointed in this country is the fact that our public transportation and our access to rail and everything is just so poor. In Amtrak, this is that kills me. Amtrak supposedly has the right of way on tracks, and it's notoriously late all the time.
Hmm.
But by law, they are supposed to have right of way over the freight trains. No one enforces it. So that's why one of the reasons the Amtrak is not nearly as good as these other countries is we don't appreciate it. We don't support it. We don't, I don't know. And we got these cars, and then you got the freeways, and our traffic. Like if you go north up to Portland, it just sucks. Like the traffic's
Yeah.
awful.
Well, Americans, so we all want our own car, and yet I won't go into this whole thing, but just witnessing people on the highways going at 70 miles an hour and looking down at their phones for multiple seconds at a time. And you could tell the ones that are doing it because they're
Mhm.
like doing this slow, shift. And anyway, it's incredibly just dangerous. That's why it would be nice to have an infrastructure that people could be mindless but not be in charge of the car or
Yeah.
the vehicle. So, well, why don't you, any last thoughts before you take us out?
No, other than I was happy to be back, right, to see everybody on Saturday Salutations again. And we generally are here every Saturday unless we have an emergency or someone's out of town and we have an emergency at the same time. So join us next week. And if you are interested more about the community, you can go to thechangeofposition.com. Until next time, stay well.
Take care.